Hi students, welcome to another session. So far we are dealing with unit 3 and it is the basis of human behavior. We are dealing it in evolutionary basis in two aspects, that is biological and cultural. In the biological we have seen the nervous system, the units of nervous system, that is neuron structure and its functioning, and then we are seeing the culture, the concept of culture, what is culture, how biological and cultural transformations takes place and why they are important, which part is very important, like these aspects are discussed in these sessions. So today's topic is cultural transmission and enculturation. So cultural transmission is, in simple words, it can be understood as the transformation from one the transfer from one organism to another organism, the information transfer. Enculturation is the adoption, the other organism adoption from the predecessor or ancestor. So let us see what is there in this, and, and try to understand the whole concept. So cultural transmission, we have seen earlier, as human beings, we are both biological and social cultural creatures. As biological creatures, we have seen certain vital needs. So, uh, if you can recall the earlier sessions, as a biological creature, we have the hormonal effects, glands functioning, glands functioning. So, all these things are taking place. But how about the culture? You, as a biological, say, you can see as a reproduction. Reproduction is a need for the survival. Their fulfillment enhances our chances of surviving. Yes, one generation to another generation, it improves the chances, and also the fittest. It improves the generation also, resistance power also. In fulfilling these needs, we use most of our acquired skills since childhood. Uh, as an organism, the firstborn, it will learn to survive, uh, to learn how to deal with the environment, the challenging environment. Even if you can uh, understand, human birth itself is a difficult journey in his entire life. Even though the external factors, financial factors, uh, health factors, cultural, whatever the things which are outside the world are just nothing before the journey which you have done, which you have carried out in the mother's womb. We also have a highly developed capacity to benefit from experience of our own and those of others. Particularly as a human being, we have the ability to learn, observe, observe other beings. It is the observational learning. No other creatures has learning capacity to the same extent as we have. Yes, human being is the most developed being on earth. He or she has the ability uh, to mold, to adapt situations around them. No other has creature has created an organized system of learning called education, and none in this universe wants to learn as much as we do. As a human being, we give value to education. We give value to learn. We give value to experience some new things, right? So we are adopting new smartphones, we are adopting e-learning, we are adopting online education. How this happens? How this happens is because of learning. Because of learning. It is the system we have created, the man has created, that learning gives more benefits than the earlier knowledge which you have. The knowledge today is not sufficient for tomorrow's existence. So if you want to exist tomorrow, you have to learn new things. As a result, we display many forms of behavior that are uniquely human and creations of what we call culture. So here culture has another one. It is culture is unique, culture is creative for human. The process of enculturation and socialization makes us cultural beings. So he is also the book is also introducing as the enculturation and socialization concepts. So these are the two concepts which we will be discussing in later sessions. Let us see what is there in enculturation. Okay, so hope you got a good understanding about cultural transmission. What is the need for cultural transmission? A biological need has a difference, and cultural transmission, why it takes place, what is the need, we have understood in these points. Okay, next. Enculturation. This is the concept which we are discussing. Socialization we will be discussing in the next one. See, it is as said, it is the adoption, direct adoption of learning from the earlier generations, either in the biological or in the communicative way. Enculturation refers to all learning that takes place without direct, deliberate teaching. It can be observation. Let us see what is there. It is all learning which takes place. It is direct. I think no mother, father, or friends, they are not teaching you anything. You will just learn. We learn certain ideas, concepts, values. This is what the culture mean in the what is culture. We have seen the definition, right? It is just recalling simply because of their availability in our cultural context. So how this happens? We are saying that we have a behavior adopted in genes transferred through chromosomes, right? Those XY chromosomes, XS chromosomes, all these things. So apart from it, we have a system. The previous parents, cultural parents, and so biological parents, we are adopting some behavior, and these people are already existing, right? So you are the newborn, which have happened from these beings. So as a newborn, as the parents are existing, you can, when you born and open your eyes, you will see things around. You may not be knowing the language. You just know to cry and get things. But there are, you will know taste, you have some smell, you have the sensation. All the sensory organs are functioning from the day one you are out of the mother's womb. So these ideas, concepts, values are existing before you by the parents, by the biological parents, and the social culture of the society. So all this learning can be directly transferred to you. It is directly adopted because of the need. For example, what is vegetable? You will ask that thing, I want that thing, I want that. You will be learning. You will be learning just by asking. You will be experiencing all these things. From the day one, you will ask milk from the mother for after some growth. Generally, in India, the formal education starts at 3 or 5 years. But till then, how you manage? You will just learn. You will just learn without direct teaching. You will learn by observation, by practical experiential learning or the learning from the parents. The plants, weed can be a plant, cereals like grains, vegetables. You will ask that green vegetable, that taste is good. I want that vegetable. You'll ask by the just communication by parents. You will be learning these things. Such such concepts are transmitted both directly and indirectly and are learned very well because they are integral part of life. That is what, because food is a necessity thing, you will be asking those things to the parents. Cultural group and are never questioned because the particular group is using this. For example, say you will have questions after your adolescence, but in the child you will not have many questions like regarding the food. Whatever the food being fed to you by parents, you will be whichever you like, you will be eating it. You will not question why this has happened. During the formal education, you will be getting those things. Okay, all such examples of learning are called enculturation. So, the learning which takes place without direct and deliberate teaching is enculturation. So, what are the examples? Certain ideas, concepts which are already existing. Those concepts, both directly and indirectly transmitted, because why they are transmitted, they are integral part of life of cultural group, the group which are living. The group can be parents, the group can be neighbors, the group can be friends, the group can be relatives. All these people will be adding up as a cultural group. The place where you are living, the state, the district, all these people will be added as a cultural group. So this is what enculturation is. Okay, so let us move to next slide. So the thus enculturation refers to all learning that occurs in human life because of its availability in our socio-cultural context. So what is it? It is already there. It is already existed. It is not that you are, it is because you come outside as a biological organism, you have some social existence. There are people living as a group. Say, for example, there are people living as a group. Okay. And then people start giving you knowledge, direct knowledge. You take this, you eat this, you behave like this. You will just learn whatever is comfortable to you. The key element of enculturation is learning by observation. Yes, as we said, experiential learning. I have used the words observational learning. Yes, from parents you observe things. Whenever we learn any content of our society by observation, enculturation is the evidence. So most of the enculturation happens through observation learning. Whatever you learned from the observation learning is enculturation. The concept, that the transmission is called enculturation. That culture transmission is called enculturation. The transfer of knowledge, the transfer of ideas, the transfer of values, the ideas, values, and uh, the systems which you have. Okay, in this sense, encultural always refers to learning something that is already available. A major part of our behavior is product of enculturation. So, so majorly, since that is what I told you, from the till the age of 3 to 5 years, you will be adopting this learning. This is like informal education, the observational learning, experiential learning. This knowledge is directly transferred, which is existing. It is a part. The knowledge is already a part. For the basic of living, for the basic living, you will be directly adopting. This doesn't need a formal education. In Indian families, many complex activities like cooking are learned by observation. There is no prescribed curriculum and no textbook for activities. And there is no deliberate instruction for cooking. Generally, when your mother cooks, all these will be directly transferred to you. You will be observing daily on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis. These things will be happening. There will be numerous number of practices that will happen. So this will directly transfer to you. Yes, there will be some changes you will adopt according to the test, but the basic things will not change. Okay. So although the effects of enculturation are obvious, people are generally not aware of these effects. So as it is an integral part, like for example, say heart functioning, you will not have a direct control. It will function automatically. So in the enculturation also the learnings takes directly. They are also generally not aware what is not available in the society to be learned to some extent. These are the basic things which you are experiencing, right? So you will not think what is happening. The food, the basic needs are, uh, you can say, the basic needs are attained with this. This leads to an apparent paradox that people who are mostly thoroughly enculturated are often least aware of their culture's role in modeling them. So they just don't know that there is a culture, there is a learning happened because they don't know. Below just 3 years or 2 years, if they adopt these things, how to communicate, how things happen, all these things, if you know these things, you will not uh, just try to uh, know that this has happened. Many of us don't know what has happened. This transmission takes automatically. Okay, so that is the basic of what we have learned in enculturation. This direct learning that has happened through cultural transmission. The cultural transmission takes place in the form of enculturation and socialization. This is a direct learning like the biological creatures. As we have some needs, the enculturation also has a direct learning which is already existed. Okay, so it the ideas, concepts and values are directly transferred from the parents or the cultural group can be friends, neighbors, relatives, uh, the group around you, the society, people around you, all these form a group. So this is what the cultural transmission and the enculturation transmission is. Enculturation concept. So enculturation definition, it is all learning that takes place without direct and deliberate teaching. So this is the main concept. So what we want to, how we can relate enculturation is that, for example, the process of that happens like we discussed autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system has a balance, has it transfers, it controls the system automatically. These processes like digestive system, respiratory system, skin responses, all these happenings will be on a direct basis. Okay, so these type of things, it is such type that enculturation is also automated learning. This is for the survival that existence. So hope you got a better understanding of this concept. Let us move to the next concepts in the next session. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.